And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey. This is the Late Show. I'm your host, Gary. With me, as always, on the Late Show, he's our field producer, Bradley, and the awesome Bailey is also here. I think Bailey's probably asleep.
Bailey's sleeping. Happy New Year. Hello.
Happy New Year,
Happy New
everyone.
Year.
I think we're going to have a pretty good show for you. Our guest is coming to us from Michigan. Bob is with us. He is the Frozen Northman, and he is the creator of Northman's Keep on YouTube. We'll make a link for that available in the description after the show. Welcome, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Good, man. It's good to see you. I know
You as well.
you've had quite a few experiences, and we'll get into that stuff. But first, we will remind everyone to keep it clean for us in the chat. We appreciate that. Y'all be nice to each other. That's probably a good resolution to have. Just add that on to your others. I got quite a few that probably won't make it the whole year. But hey, 2023 is a whole brand new year, right?
It's like the best thing I've heard is act like Betty White
Oh boy.
without the dirty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think once she got up over 90, there was her give a damn was busted.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's good to see everybody, and we've got some things coming up, and we're starting to plan for 168 hours. I haven't gotten with everyone yet, but the ball is starting to roll, and we're going to be going back down in March to shoot again and try to do better than we did on the last one. So I've got anyone that's emailed me or gotten in touch that was already planning to go. I will get back in touch with everyone. It's just been a lot going on here. I can't explain to you the amount of work that I've had to do. So
Yeah, you're basically busier than a one-armed paper hanger.
pretty busy. Yeah, and it's not just like a 12-hour a day job. It's 24/7. It's constantly all night alarms and emails and that. We're not getting into all that. Let's get into what people actually tuned in for. So sorry, thought I saw something there. So Bob, tell us, man, how did you get started in all this? You had an experience. Was there anything before that?
Yeah.
You were essentially a non-believer, right?
Oh yeah, I was a non-believer. Totally.
So what happened?
So actually, it's actually kind of interesting. It's actually only a couple months ago. I went up north in Michigan to an area called Grayling. There's a white pine forest, which was I think it's the only pine forest in the state, and it's old growth forest. And there was like a mannequin of a Sasquatch like in the woods, and me and my friends were up there, and we're like, hey, taking pictures, like, oh, look at Sasquatch. And then
hold on, Bob. Is there a TV player in the background?
Yeah, I could shut the door real quick for you. I'll be right back. I'll just shut the door real quick. I'm sorry.
It's just mildly
sorry about that. Yeah,
annoying. It's okay.
I've learned my lesson. So
sometimes I learn mine. I forget to turn my ringer off, and my phone will go off 10 or 15 times.
that's one of my New Year's resolutions, is to remember the lessons that I've been told I need to learn.
yeah.
Well, I
Is that
resolved.
better? I
Yes.
apologize about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No worries.
It's okay.
Because it's on the other side of the house, and
It just kind of hit me, and I was like, something's going on in the background.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
back to the
Okay.
story. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. So actually, while we're laughing about this, an older Native American guy comes up, and he's like, "You guys talking about Bigfoot?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, they're up here. This is Bigfoot country." And I was like, really? And he, I was just kind of like dumbfounded by him saying that. And he's like, "Oh yeah, they're up here. I seen them." And then he said, especially in the UP where I'm from, Upper Peninsula, which is like very, a lot of wilderness, very rural, a lot of forest land for sure. I think 85% or 90% forest land.
There's a lot of forest up there.
Sure is.
Oh yeah. So from that, I actually was kind of intrigued by it a little bit, because so just as like I want to say like a history nerd, and if you go check out my channel, like I do like mythology, history, kind of like things that are kind of like not so known about, I kind of try to stay more like with obscure things. So I've been studying a lot of like just as a hobby, just anthropology, the throughout the human line, all the like the primates, even all the way back to like gibbons. Gibbons are like the oldest ape, from my understanding, the first to split, and they have certain traits that are aligned with humans that aren't, with other apes, other members of the great ape family, and just things like that. And I watched I started just watching random videos on Bigfoot, and actually the first one for some reason that showed up was Sasquatch Theory, Miguel's encounter, where he had encounters with his Sasquatch, his encounters. And I'm still a non-believer at this point. I'm just kind of like intrigued by it, like why I want to know why people believe that it's real, or why they think it exists, because you go down the human line and the fossils are real old. Actually, until recently, they're talking about there's possible a 12 to 18,000 year old Homo erectus that was alive 12 to 18,000 years ago, which would have been the most recent primitive, hominid. And they're not, I mean, they're primitive, but if you look at their brain, CC, they had a high level, almost like a modern human in certain cases, which, I think 1200 CC to 1600 CC. Where was I? And then
you're getting ready to say that you weren't a believer, ran into
yeah,
American.
I wasn't a believer at all, even though that I just come across that recently, like a couple weeks ago. I guess that's a pretty new study, and it's kind of disputed, but it looks like it might be legit. But I started listening to people. And the second person I listened to was on the Sasquatch Theory channel. Another a guy from Tennessee, a turkey hunter in Tennessee. And I used to live in North Carolina when I was younger. I went to school or a semester down there, and I have family in the mountains in Appalachia, in Tennessee and North Carolina, in South Carolina. And I used to go down there a lot, in Tennessee, and I knew the area what he was talking about. So I was just listening to it, and him and Miguel just totally like made me rethink, am I really just looking over something? But I still didn't believe it, but it was very, very, I would encourage you guys to go to that channel and listen to the encounters. And then I listened to Carrie's after that. And I was like, whoa, I really need to watch something on this stuff. I need to look up more Bigfoot stuff, So I come across the Turtle Man hunt for Bigfoot randomly. And I just started like
that
watching.
guy's nuts, man.
Yeah.
He's something else.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, okay. Oof. And it was crazy because I started seeing things like moving in the bushes and hearing like weird noises, just kind of like that they never mentioned, or, that they weren't aware of at the time or whatever. And so I started kind of being like, maybe there's like unknown, species of something in Appalachia or whatever. I could definitely see it as like a possibility. There's a lot of thick forests in Appalachia. So basically I started really trying to like pinpoint what I seen, and then I just kind of gave it up and I just threw it away for like a couple weeks. I was like, I'm not convinced, I'm sorry, but I'm not convinced. So lo and behold, like a couple weeks after that, I got an appointment for my business up in Mansalona, which is near Grayling. It's not far from the tip of Michigan. If you we're the Mitten State, so the tip. And I was hearing like strange noises in a cabin that I was in. We decided to stay in a cabin for whatever reason. And at night, like whacks like on trees, and real loud. It sounded like I picked up a baseball bat and just whacked the tree. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I was like, this is strange. And I'm like, what? Don't they talk about wood knocking with Sasquatch? Like, you know, that's interesting.
If that's what
So
they're doing, you
yeah,
hear all kind of things, teeth
hmm
clapping their hands. A hand clap makes sense to me, that they're not just dragging a stick around with them all through the woods or a pit limb or whatever to beat on something. Not to mention that motion. Some people have claimed that it's them clapping their hands, and that could very well be the case.
Oh, the wood knocks.
Yeah.
It could be. I never thought of that.
So were you with somebody that was hearing it as well when you were up there?
My girlfriend thought it might have been kids playing around. Yeah, my girlfriend was with me, and I didn't see any kids like doing it, so I was like, I don't think so. We were about 100 yards from like the nearest cabin from where we were at, and this is kind of what was really kind of crazy. At like 2 a.m, I forgot my toothbrush in the car, so I went to go get it, and I go out there, and then now I'm hearing like crazy loud, like literally, like I said, like me picking up a baseball bat and just whacking the tree as hard as I could. Like no kid, like, you know what I mean? Not a little 10-year-old kid could make that noise. Like it was just super loud. I was like, what the hell is that?
How
and
close
then
was
something
it?
fell. It was close. It must have been 20 yards. Not very far. Then it sounded like something fell. Like the ground shook. And I was like, man, what the hell is that? And I told my girlfriend, I was like, you need to come out here. Like, there's some weird noises out here, you know? And she heard the ground shake when it happened. Like, because I told her to come out, you know, after the wax with the tree, you know, the wax, what it sounded like a baseball bat hitting a tree. So then she was like, yeah, that is weird. She heard it too. She's like, I don't know what that is. I was like, I don't know either. I was like, I'm going back inside, you know? So we both go back inside, and we go to sleep. And then at 7 a.m, I mean, I don't like to get in the woo when I'm trying to talk about like actual what I believe are biological animals. And it's not to say I don't believe in like the woo, or like I do believe in supernatural, and we could talk about that, like, you know, if you wanted to, like but I'm trying not to associate the Sasquatch with it. But I had a dream that I seen a Sasquatch, right? And then while I'm dreaming, a whistle wakes me up, like I can't whistle, but something at my door like whistles loud, like, you know, and I'm like, what the hell? And then it sounds like what sounds like wolves, almost like a wolf, like, you know, like a rabid wolf, or like a pack of rabid wolves, actually, is what I first thought in my head after I heard the whistle and the growling, like real, like, you know, menacing. And I'm like, what the hell is my first thoughts were like, what the hell is a guy like whistling at my door with a pack of wolves doing? That was literally my thought, you know? And so I start to like kind of like get up out of bed, and then the sound gets like real loud and like menacing, like it's bigger than a wolf, whatever it is, you know? And I'm like really scared at this point that I didn't lock my door or something in my head, because the creature's like at my door, like pushing my door. My door's being pushed. And I'm like really scared at this point. I'm covering my eyes. I'm covering my eyes, and I'm walking like to the window to see, and I just see a big shadow through like you know, it's foggy because it was in the morning. It was 7 a.m, and so I just backed up. I was really afraid, and I just was like covering my eyes. I didn't want to look at it. I was that scared. I could have seen what it was, but I was too scared. You know, I thought it might have been a bear.
Heard of that before.
Sorry.
I've heard of that before. People doing that.
Yeah.
And just kind of keep in mind that there's kids watching.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh
man, long day.
It's okay.
People
have said a lot worse on here.
Okay. Apologize about that.
Don't apologize.
So yeah, it was extremely loud, you know, like a big creature. Either it was a bear or something else. It couldn't really been anything else. I don't think cougars. No, because I would say the cackle, or I'm not gonna say cackling, but like the growling, like a rabid wolves make.
Was it deeper? Was it deeper than that?
It was like high pitched. It started getting like, and then it got real deep, like you know, like something like was like going through you. Like it was
Big lungs.
I never heard any. Yeah, whatever, and that was actually in my thought in my head. Whatever just made that is large and had big lungs. While I heard the voice raise, like I actually thought that in my head, and I was like, I'm not gonna try to look at this thing because whatever it is could kill me easily.
Now, what was your girlfriend doing? When
She
this
was she actually takes sleeping medication, so she actually woke up when it first happened, and then I just told her to like go back to sleep. And she's so out of it, she just rolled back over and went to sleep because she was, you know, on sleeping medication. But I was afraid for her, and I was trying to like guard her. You know, I didn't want her to freak out or anything like that in case it might have, you know, aroused the creature, whatever it was, outside my door.
Good man.
Now, just a real quick interlude or quick question. After hearing what you heard, did you go and try to find vocals or any type of similar sounds on the old interweb?
That's exactly what I did. I actually had because that appointment was 2 hours after that, like after that happened. So on the ride to the appointment, I was telling my girlfriend, go on the internet and look up black bear, because, you know, we're in Michigan, we have black bear. Black bear growls. And I couldn't find anything that really matched what I heard. And that's hilarious that you asked me that, because that's the honest truth. I told her to look it up while I'm driving, you know. That's funny that you mentioned that.
Google Bigfoot vocals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But at the time, I was like, maybe it was a Bigfoot. If you connect the dream that I had and then that occurrence, it was just the weirdest thing, you know. And like I said, I like to go off of real solid, you know, you could see it evidence, not woo stuff like that. But when it comes to a biological animal that I believe has offspring that, you know, grow up and everything like that.
But at the same time, you're like awakening to the possibility that there could be something to this.
Yeah.
It sounds like everything kind of got dumped in your lap at once.
Yeah. And it's been driving me crazy ever since. So,
well, you know, when we talk about Sasquatch and what the implication of that is, it's more of a title at this point, because there very well could be many different things out there, whether they're of the same species or subspecies, same type, different types. It all gets called Sasquatch. So, or Bigfoot or whatever. And when it comes to believing or being convinced, that's very subjective, because there are people that have had very close encounters, experiences where they've seen this creature in the woods and still do not want to believe that there's anything out there like it. So it's really on us.
Yeah.
And what is it going to take? You know, what it took for you, because you were at a point you were like, no, I still don't buy this. And then something else happens and you're like, okay, there may be something to this. To me, that's the logic, the rational brain taking over and saying, okay, yeah, there actually is something out there. I need to start paying attention and being aware that this is absolutely a possibility.
Right.
But there are still people that want to disillusion themselves, choose. It's a choice not to buy into or believe that there's anything out there, because they're safe in their own little bubble. You know, ignorance is bliss. And it's understandable that people want to go there and be that way. And there are people that like myself don't like being in the woods now because of you know what we've learned about it, even after spending a lifetime in them. It's just that's why all we do is awareness, because getting into the rest of it, trying to prove anything or trying to figure out what it is and all the different things that they do, you drive yourself nuts. You really can. And I'm sure you'll run that. I ran that gambit for years.
Oh, hey, I'm still running it, man. I'm still.
Well, I eventually gave in and just said, you know what? Let's just try to let people know that these things are out there and keep your eye open. And then maybe they'll have their own experience and then they'll be convinced. Hopefully.
Right.
That's all we can do. So.
Yeah. I hear you. It's crazy about your encounter, how you were like a master of the woods in that area, and you thought that,
Thought I was.
yeah.
Highly,
And
highly
that,
circumstantial though. That whole thing was very
hmm
circumstantial. That's why I say I believe if it would have been anybody else just going in there that day and doing the exact same thing, nothing would happen. I think it's
well,
because it was me they did
I
that.
have something to say about that. In my own, when I'll just tell you, tell you guys, what I seen personally, what I was little people when I was in the forest. Another time, not very recently.
You don't have to tell that whole story, but when you say
No,
little,
I'm not. I'm just,
when you say little, because that's actually coming on Sasquatch theory. You
yeah,
got with Miguel,
yes,
and you're going to be doing that there. So
yes,
we definitely don't want to step on that.
right, yeah.
But I just want to know, and you say little people, do you mean
hmm
little people or little hairy people?
That's you know, I seen them for a couple
Wearing
seconds.
clothes?
I think they were wearing clothes.
Oh wow,
From my memory, I seen them for a few seconds. They jumped right in front of me, you know.
that is crazy.
And so
Saying you're
when
crazy, but that
yeah,
just sounds wild.
it's so you were saying because it was you, and I was actually in the forest finding lots of lots of evidence of uh something moving that sticks around, structures, all types of things. I was out in the woods by myself, and I was finding these things, and I'm like, wow, like this is kind of crazy. I didn't know that this, was in. I was in southern Michigan. I was only 50 miles from my house, so which the area of Ann Arbor. Um, I don't know if you're familiar, if you ever heard of that, but there's a lot of forest land like to the west and north, and there's a lot of Sasquatch sightings.
I'll
Some of
have
the
to look them out.
if you look into it, there's a lot of police officers and forest rangers over there that have talked about it, that they've seen like hairy people walking in there, and that's why I went to that area.
Now, let me ask you this, Bob.
Yeah.
Did you grow up hunting or anything?
No. Nope.
Okay, so this is kind of brought you into the woods.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know like some people, and like Carrie and myself, I grew up hunting, and it's almost like I ignored stuff I didn't want to recognize. Kind of like
Yeah.
ignorance. Like
Yeah.
somebody in chat said, ignorance is bliss.
Right.
Uh, until once you start going down that path and journey, trying to figure out what it is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can hear a noise that it'll trigger your mind on something that happened in the past. Or I mean, there's just so many obviously variables with
Like.
going down this path and this journey
Mm-hmm.
that it's you definitely it gets curiosity going.
There's no
Like.
right way. That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
the thing.
that's what I
We
was trying
don't,
to
we
say.
don't, yeah, we just don't know enough, really. I mean, as much as people claim to know, uh, and they may know all these things. I'm not saying that they don't, but
Mm-hmm.
we don't get shown very much of these
Yeah.
things. You hear people talk about seeing Sasquatch all the time and seeing particular markings on one. And I'm thinking, did you take a camera with you? You know,
Right.
when you go and you're getting close enough to see all these things. And
Right.
those are just the questions that I have, and I never get really good straight answers on them.
I,
But or usually it'll come right back around to their opinion, and which is what we all have. Plenty of those. We're trying. There are plenty of people out there trying, and I'm encouraged that this has gotten you into the woods and not kept you out,
yeah.
because there are plenty of people like myself. I talk to them all the time. That aren't going back in to hunt or anything like that.
I
Now
can
I'll go
imagine
back.
why after
Yeah.
seeing what I've seen now. This is my first time
But it's
ever
not
going
keeping
out.
you out. It's not
Yeah.
keeping you out. That's what I'm
I
saying. So
I
that's encouraging.
actually just to like see maybe if it's possible that they were in the area by their structures and things like that, because if you see these structures and you're like, how did this get moved here, and why is this twisted around this, and why is there a pyramid, and you're like, wow, this is interesting. Even in, like I said, only 50 miles from me, and I'm from Detroit, so it's not very far. It's kind of
Like I said,
interesting. something in your
it's a
backyard.
choice, because there are people that will do everything they can, everything in them to explain things like that away. You know, even when it becomes more and more difficult to dispel it and call it something else, they still just refuse to believe. So
Yeah.
when I say it's a choice, that's what it is. Maybe eventually we'll be able to get through to enough people and have enough people following the subject that that those that are actually in the know will start coming forward and telling us something about
Yeah.
them. They're just so hard to study. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's almost impossible.
It you know, and so when I was telling you guys about how I studied a lot of anthropology just as a hobby, when I started thinking about how could these things, you know, exist, like how could they move around without being seen, and when I started doing my research and seeing the videos and combined with the stories and the two and two come together, these things are extremely well adapted. Like you said, a ghillie suit, you know, with basically superhuman strength and speed and athletic ability, you know, combined with no knowledge of the entire area, like no human.
Sure, I think they have better camouflage than we'll ever have.
Yeah.
Just a natural adaptation to as a predator. You know, most predators do have that.
I think you mentioned that they have something like a squid or an octopus.
It was just a choice. You know, these are the choices that when it came to the skin being green on camera,
I'm
and the
seeing
way the
that
camera
too.
was picking it up.
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
It's either chromatophores, it is either or something they're putting on their skin, or it's diffusion, which is what we think it is.
Yeah.
And the only reason I think that is because I've got a picture of this, and I showed it on 168, the green guy, where it's a slow zoom in, and I talk about what people see, and then people always see this thing with the two eyes, and then boom, here's this thing sitting right here in front of them, clear as day.
Yep.
I got another picture in the exact same spot the very next day where the sun is not shining, of him poking out, and he's gray.
Wow.
So yeah. So, but I couldn't. There's a red circle around it, and I can't get that red circle off of it, and it just aggravates the crap.
The stuff that I had that I wanted to show you, I actually wanted to talk about that because I actually seen video evidence of that just in other videos as well, where the creature was black and then it had like a green outline on its arm was green because it was facing this direction, and his body was black. Just interesting things like that, and I've seen it multiple times over now. It's not just like a one time. It's I think that you're right on the money. I think you're right. You know,
hey, look, it's just a theory from what we're seeing. And look, if you listen to Mark Zaski, he's seen these things dozens of times, just real quick.
Yeah,
but has seen several that he called dead people. He said they just looked like the dead. The skin is not exactly the same color green as everything around. It's slightly off. He calls it lima bean green, and that it fits because it's a little bit lighter. Some of them are that way. Some, I think when the sun is brighter, it's a lot closer to the actual color. And look, people tell me all the time, "Hey man, that's just the bushes." Well, you know, that's the idea. These things are trying to look like the bushes. There's a reason that we don't see these things when we're out there. You know,
I think you're totally right. I'm seeing the same
limited.
things.
Our eyes are limited in their environment. The cameras that we use are not, and that's why we're able to catch them on camera while we're not seeing them.
Yeah, you guys are doing really good work. I mean, amazing.
Well, thanks.
I think you guys are going to be the ones to prove that they're real, and it's like the last frontier.
It's going to take a body, and
all I know is
I won't be that guy.
Yeah,
I don't want to be the slowest when that happens.
Right.
I just want to be faster than the slowest guy, and I'm good.
Right. I don't think we're going to prove anything. I think even if you get a body, what are you going to do with it? I mean, we could go live on YouTube saying, "Hey, we have this body. It's laying."
Oh, that's
here.
fake.
There's still going to be 1 million people that watch it and say, "Oh, well, that's some kind of dummy they got made up," and it just this.
I would have said the same thing.
It's a
Honestly.
disconnect. It is a disconnect. Oh, me too. I get it. I understand perfectly. That's why we do awareness. Because if you just consider the possibility, you ain't got to believe it. When you're having this strange experience that's not, in keeping with everyday reality and what you normally experience, when you're out there and you consider this, then I think it may open you up a little bit more to actually seeing it. I think the only reason I even saw the one I saw initially is because I thought it was one of Garway's kids. If I had been anywhere else, I may not have even seen the thing. I might have had that cognitive dissonance, that disconnect, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well, but then one of the things though too is the deeper you get in the subject, and the more when you hear other people's experience, what they've had happen to them, and then you start picking up patterns, and then like for me personally, I started remembering things about certain peculiar times when I was hunting, when something goofy happened. And it's odd how I'm sure there's a whole bunch of stuff that's happened that I don't recall, but your mind is just constantly going through things. And I've heard that noise before. When did I hear that noise? That's the thing that drives me nuts.
You guys must have been. They're probably around you guys so many times, and I just can't imagine. It's crazy. The first time I ever went in the woods, I had an experience with something that I've never seen before. That's not supposed to exist. I'm talking like by myself, off the trail. Usually I've been in the woods, I've been hiking, and I used to live in the mountains, but off the trail, into the woods. Yeah, no. Now that's what I did, and I had a strange.
That's it. That's why I think we can win the awareness game. Proving anything exists, that's not going to be on. I don't think it's going to be on any of us amateurs. I think that's going to be on someone in some official capacity that is charged with it. It's fully transparent. It's in the public. Hey, here's this group. It's sanctioned by the government to go and do this, and then find it, and then you're going to get the people that actually go, wow, okay, I guess all these crazy rednecks that were running around in the woods are right. That's to me, that's what it's going to take to actually prove they're out there. But I don't see that happening for a long time. I really don't.
I hear you.
But we can do what we can do ourselves is get out with the cameras, the best equipment that we can possibly get our hands on to take out there and put together everything we know in the areas where we think and believe these things are, and try to catch them clearly where people look at it and say, wow, that's actually something.
I'm with you.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, unless it's the perfect storm where somebody has a dash cam running and they hit one in a car, or just it's going to be so blind squirrel finding a nut theory that and there's no telling how many times that's happened where then they call the authorities and then it's
everything gets lost.
Gone.
Yep.
Yeah. I listened to that one guy that came on the show. I think he was from he was in the insane asylum, and it was a captive, what they called the hybrid of bestiality.
Yeah.
Now that, woo, man. And when I seen the drawing, it reminded me of yours, your encounter, Carrie. There was something about it that just screamed like, man, he's telling the truth.
I think there are several drawings up here of what I saw. If Daniela hasn't taken them down, here's one that I did.
Wow.
And that's pretty close. That reminds me a lot of it. The hair is not right for
Good
sure.
Lord.
I'm not an artist. That probably took me 10 hours.
Sean Cassidy here.
Really good.
Yeah. A lot of erasing going on there, but that long face and the protruding mouth and the really big mouth. I never saw eyes. I just had to put that in there. But those big round ball cheeks and really long, more like the nose is not quite right on this either. It kind of pointed down a little bit more. But where's the one that?
Didn't you say it almost had a Scottie Pippen nose?
Yeah,
I remember hearing that.
The one on the left is more like the nose.
Yeah. So that's the one from the asylum, and that's yours, right?
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's insane. What yours almost remind me of a Japanese oni from certain angles when it was getting drawn. I remember thinking that in my head. I actually showed my girlfriend. She said the same thing.
I don't remember seeing that weathered, crackly looking face, but you know, he had
Yeah.
it was shiny to me, like
Mm.
very, very black. And I'm not talking
Interesting.
about dark brown. I mean black, like black patent leather shoes. Black.
The face, the skin on
Yeah,
the face.
the
Yeah.
skin on the
Mm-hmm.
face, on the body, light, not light, but lighter, dark, still dark gray, but
Hmm.
hardly any hair like on the inside of the arms and the inside of the forearm, kind of like
That's
we are
incredible.
a little bit.
That's
You know,
incredible. That's so incredible.
yeah, the whole thing was absolutely incredible.
Wow.
Wouldn't be
Yeah.
sitting here, would not be sitting here if it hadn't happened.
Yeah. I hear you, man. To be honest, what I was trying to say, you know, because I was out there looking, and when I was in the forest, and I was finding tree structures and weird tree breaks that were made into looked like artwork. I was like, what the hell is this? Just tree limbs that were real thick and then real thin, and the trees were far away from them, you know. And go out there, man. Anybody listening to this, go out in the forest yourself and look around and look at all the how the trees are and how they can naturally be aligned like that. I was like, I don't know, this is crazy. And then I had my encounter. Once I started getting scared, I had my encounter with the little people. Like once I started having a weird sense of fear and like looking around where I was by the structures, and when I walked out, man, yeah,
It's a protective instinct. You can call it fear if you want to, but it's more of a in the moment type of
Mm-hmm.
to me. I'd call it a protective instinct.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this: the first time we went to Bienville, Linda and I were walking through, and we saw this arch, and it was a pine tree, probably about that big around, a 30
Mm-hmm.
footer, and it was in a big arch, and it was down to the ground. When we went up there, the tip of the tree was broken and shoved into the ground a foot. And there's
Jeez.
nothing big around that could have fallen and made it happen. So I
Right.
mean, how does that happen? How does this tree, the tree tip can get broke coming down fine, but how does it get bent over and shoved into the ground? To me, that's some kind of marker. And it was more than one. And then they took us to the one that they had actually found, Doug and Karen, and it was 3 trees brought in together from somewhere else. There's no stumps around where these things are, and these were a lot bigger. These were 700-800 pound pine trees, 40, 50 footers, and vines and things woven all through it. It's all on our second documentary. You can see the whole thing. That was very hard to explain.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody would have had a hard time explaining how that happened naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows how many times I had run up on stuff like that in the woods and thought it was just deadfall. And
Yeah.
when you're not aware, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything, and it shouldn't.
Yeah. I hear you 100%.
So here we are.
I'm feeling the same way. I'm seeing, when I go out in the forest, I'm seeing this stuff all the time now. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, eyes are open.
Hey, you start once you get aware, you just start getting aware of everything.
Yeah,
and
100%.
And I know that that's such an obvious Captain Obvious statement, but
well, the thing is that it there becomes, people get into it a little too deep sometimes, and everything becomes a tree structure.
Yeah,
and when some things could possibly be explained away, it isn't. It's still, hey, look at this. And I can kind of understand, especially if you've got a channel and you want to show people something. You know, sometimes people run up on things and they're like, hey, you know, look, this looks like some Sasquatch stuff, when could possibly be something that, especially when you see tree limbs like that are stuck in the ground, they don't have to fall very far, about 30 feet. What's terminal velocity? 40 feet before it's terminal velocity, something like that, before you're just going as fast as you can go. Or is it 140 feet? I don't know. Anyway, those things can stick in the ground from being, so I kind of look at that stuff as, you know, maybe possibly if you see a bunch of them together, you know, then it's hard to explain. But just one it's too hard for me,
Of course.
to say, hey, a Sasquatch did that.
Right.
So I think some of these things, we're a whole lot better off trying to fully debunk everything we come across in the woods until we just can't.
Yeah,
And
I agree with
that's
that.
that's when I think that these things that we come across should be shown, or you come across some other evidence. Hey, you found some hair right here. There's a footprint right here, and here's this thing stuck in the ground. You know, those kind of things. And there are people out there doing that, and it's there's so many YouTube channels. It's hard to filter through. I probably get 4 or 5 links a day easily.
I can imagine. I mean, I'm always looking to see, and I look for movement on videos. You know, did it go this direction? Did it? And I post some of it, and you know, and people will say, hey, you know, it looks like leaves, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I want you to like follow where you. So how did the leaf move all the way like 15 yards in half a second? You know what I mean? Like.
You got a video we're going to watch here in just a second. I'll let you kind of talk us through it.
Okay.
But for those that have showed up since, Bob's YouTube channel is Northman's Keep, and again, I'll put a link to that in the description after the show. Daniela knows how to do all that stuff beforehand. I mean, I could have too, but I didn't know you had it. So
yeah, I dropped the ball. I had so much stuff, but it was on my OneDrive, and there's something wrong with it. I can't. I don't know if it's an error.
Well, you didn't drop the ball, so to speak. This might be a little bit small on here. Can you guys see that? I'm gonna try to. Is that better?
Can you take us out?
I'll try to put the screen big on. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Like that.
Yeah.
Now, I got to go back to it to play it. Now.
Oh.
Here we go.
Okay, so. This is probably real time, so it's going to be hard to see. If you look on the left, very left, do you see that creature running right there? To the left, it looks like basically like a green shadow. I know it's hard to see.
Did we pass it already?
Yeah, you got to scroll back. It's man, I had to put it on 0.25 speed. I seen it actually when I was watching.
Here, I'm just gonna. It won't let me scrub.
Is it possible to slow the speed down on the video?
No.
Okay. Yeah. See, there's a lot of. So it's to the left, right there, to the left.
Oh,
on the ground, running.
On the ground. Let's go back.
So, I know. I apologize. I wish.
It's all right.
The stuff I had been a lot easier.
To the left on the ground.
To the left on the ground. And do you see that? There's
Is it black?
It's like a greenish, dark green. It looks like black. It looks black at certain points too. Yeah.
I'll tell you what that looks like to me, man.
Yeah.
That looks like a leaf hanging.
Okay. Look. I know it's very hard to see.
It looks dark. So you get this thing here. Let's look at it again, and I'll stop. I'll stop it when we get to when I see it.
Okay.
All right, right there.
Right there. Do you see? Okay, go move your cursor up. Right there. Right there.
Here?
It looks like a leg, a head, and an arm in the air. Balanced on one leg. Yeah, it like jumps. If you were to go on YouTube, I'm not, on his thing, you probably see it best because it's the original recording. You could see, and then you zoom in on it, and then you go by frame. You'll see that it looks like a creature of some sort running all the way across down that area.
I'm not saying it is. It just looks like that it might be a leaf, like maybe hanging from a spider web or something. And because you're walking, you get this parallax effect.
Yeah,
where everything in the background is moving, and it kind of looks like it is. I'm not saying that's what it is.
Right.
I'm saying that's kind of what it looks like to me. Let's watch it in real time. Now that people know where it is, and you can kind of see that it's almost like it's something hanging there. I may be wrong. I don't know. I'm starting to question myself a little bit now.
Because at the end, it looks like it wraps around the tree right there. And when I have it in slow motion, you could watch you can follow its movement. It goes like around the tree and takes off past the tree. It's strange, very strange.
Yeah. Oh man, that kind of looks like, I don't know.
Yeah, coming along. You're coming around, man. You're coming around.
Yeah,
I know.
I
I
might
thought
be
the same
coming.
things.
I may be coming around.
It's-
I
I look
thought
at,
the same things.
please
Let me-
understand how much I look at this stuff.
Let me take another drink real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that is trippy looking.
Yeah.
That really is trippy looking.
That might be something. I don't know. I'm on the fence.
Yeah. Oh,
I wasn't on the fence, but now, yeah. Hey, look.
That's usually
you
my
know what?
position.
I'm gonna have to look at it closer.
Yeah.
We'll put it in the
understandable.
editor and see
Be
if
like
we
me.
can see if we can get
Also,
some
there's
actual
another one.
movement.
There's another one on that video that I wanted to show you. It's up in the tree.
Oh,
And it's clear. It's more. It's kind of blurry because it's a recording of a record, but it's pretty clearly a creature jumping in a tree because you can see it jump from one tree to another, and it's pretty big.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Show me where.
So I'll tell you when. Hopefully I have it on this recording.
just say stop.
Left
Okay.
or right side.
So if you actually stop right now, look directly in the center. Do you see like a black dot there?
Yes.
Like parallel to his hat, actually.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. So just keep going from there. That's the creature right there. And if you watch that area the whole time, you'll see there's something moving, and he jumps from one tree to another. He actually jumps a whole tree. He jumps on the leaf right there, and then he jumps, and then he's gone to the other tree. Did you see that?
I did see that.
Yeah. And I got that in slow motion and everything. And I got screenshots of that. I'm gonna put all this on my YouTube. All my stuff is kind of like, thrown together right now, and I gotta fix it and everything. I've been so busy with work. It's hard to.
But see, it looks like he's looking at that.
Yeah. He never says anything or mentions it or anything in his video. And there's like music playing, so you can't. Or I'm not sure if there's music playing at that point.
Watch his
but
gaze.
Yeah.
Boom.
Maybe he just missed it. I don't know. It's kind of.
I don't know. It looked like he looked up like right at the last second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And forgive dumb question, but it's not a squirrel though, right?
No.
Okay.
It's definitely not a squirrel.
I thought it could have been a raccoon, but when I did everything real slow and I was watching its movement, it looks like it has 2 arms, 2 legs, with like length to them. It looks like it actually grabs it with its hand, but it's doing it so fast. I can't, when you're watching it in real time,
Yeah.
you can see it jump from the tree to the tree. And
Yeah,
there's actually one right above that I have screenshots of that you can clearly see when it's zoomed. And you can actually, I know it's a little bit blurry. See, there's a little one, and it's perched, it's standing with its left leg out, and then it climbs the tree, and its right leg is out. So I don't know any creature that has. Like,
I wish I could slow it down. I wish I could. I'd have to get it in my editor and do those things. But
yeah, no, understandable.
This is the thing, is what I'm comfortable saying that I know is that when you're out there and these things are around, the camera will see them when you don't.
That's what I think happened, and
so I'll give you that.
do you want to try that one where the little one above him? You can actually see him. You could watch him move. He climbs up the tree, and you could actually see him.
Oh, so there's another one even.
There's another one, yeah, and I've got more after that, and I'll show you, and you can actually see them better. But I just want to show you this too because I don't want to leave little guy out.
Let's come back. Show. All right. We're looking.
So, this is
see that blank thing.
This is gonna be kind of crazy. Okay, so stop. Okay, do you look up the tree to the left of where that black one is? Up the tree. There's a leg hanging out.
It's on a different tree back there.
Yeah, it's to the left. It's a tree. It's a smaller, thinner tree to the left of that black one, and it's way up the tree near the top of the screen.
Okay, I see that thin tree. It's 2 trees over.
Okay, yeah, yep, and its left leg is hanging out. And like I said, if you zoom up and everything, you'd be able to see it real well. But you could actually see it climb up the tree and to the left. It's kind of crazy. It's hard to see, but once you really do your research on it, you'll see it.
And it's funny, when I walk in the woods, I always look at the ground.
It's behind the 2 right now.
Yep.
It climbs up the tree to its left, and it's man, it's not easy to see in this, but yeah, there it goes. It's climbing. I see him, and he moved to his left, and he's gone. You can't. He's out of screen now, out of focus. You can kind of see him hanging a little bit still, like when he walks past, but yeah, in slow motion, man. Oh, he actually does like 4 different movements that you could see.
This is what happens when your lions aren't good in the fall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You go out in the woods instead of watching the lions play.
Yeah, Lions are trash. Oh my god. I was actually wearing a Lions hat, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put on a Red Wings hat.
You know, it's good to know that it wasn't Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I actually root for Stafford out in
Those guys
LA.
might win the Super Bowl.
He went to my high school.
No way, he did.
Yeah, yep.
Wow,
He was he actually played baseball with Clayton Kershaw. He was the catcher on the baseball team at Highland Park.
Both those guys went pro.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that had to be a fun baseball team to watch in high school.
Welcome to Bigfoot Odyssey, where we talk about sports.
Yes.
Did you happen to see that little one move or no?
I diverged. There you go. My first divergence.
No, I saw everything you pointed out, man.
Yeah.
This is the problem is you emailed it to me. There's one compression. Okay. Now I'm showing it on StreamYard. There's another one. So there's all this digital artifact
It's so hard
going on.
I know.
So I think people watching on your YouTube channel with you breaking it down and actually being able to zoom in and show things will be 10 times better than us showing it.
For sure. I gotta get, so some of the videos I didn't put enough effort, but I've just been so busy, you know, it's been hard to.
This is the problem with digital.
I don't get out till 11 o'clock at night, you know, a lot of days.
Well, you got the urge.
Oh, I got ants in my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but it looks like you're young enough that you've got plenty of time in front of you.
Mm-hmm. I'm 30.
You're 30. You don't look 30. You look 20.
Thank you.
But Brad and I are older.
Yeah.
I'm older.
Considerably.
Yes.
I have a 30-year-old daughter. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. A 26-year-old son and a 22-year-old son.
Hey, you know,
and a 17-year-old son and a 13-year-old son. Jesus. They're all 4 boys, 1 girl. Between Linda and I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that's actually is nice is when you see younger folks and that's such a goofy cliche, so to speak, but that you're interested in. You're you know, from not being a hunter.
We need you.
Yeah.
Next generation, man.
You know, it's one of the, like, I'm a anthropology, like I said, nerd. So I've studied just Denisovans, the new, you know, Denisovan studies and the Neanderthal. I think that Sasquatch are definitely they're like a hominid of some sort. That's what I believe. But you know, a lot of people believe that.
Well, I tell you, if you know, to do the research that you're obviously into, there's so much stuff to look at.
Oh yeah.
And it's just, you know, go with your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Go what feels right.
So I have a couple questions for you guys. Just yeah. I mean, you know, there's the Homo naldi, the one that in the Homo luzensis, I think, the one that actually regressed its foot biology to be able to clasp on trees again, like earlier primates, but still keeping something like a not a Homo erectus exactly.
You're talking about something out of the Miocene?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't think they're out of the Miocene, but yeah, I do think that something out of the Miocene could possibly be a Sasquatch. I've actually thought about that too.
Hey, look, man, there were apparently, from what they say, about 30 upright walking.
Yep.
Different
exactly.
upright walking primates about
probably more than that
during the Miocene.
Good God, who knows?
Sasquatch could have walked right out of that.
100%. They could have. The only thing is, you know, if you hear the stories about how they throw rocks, right? And the shoulder mobility required to throw with accuracy. Some of the first fossils are about 2 million years old, around that. You know, on the way to a human, a Homo sapien. to throw, and you see these videos of these rocks being thrown. Like I've seen that, you know, just scrolling through and how they do it and all this. And I don't mean how they do this, but you could see rocks coming, and then you think about how can they do this? How are they throwing with accuracy? Because if you look at chimps and gorillas, they can only throw like 20 miles an hour. You know, that's their maximum speed, velocity. Object throwing.
Yeah, well, you know,
that's 20 shows right there talking about that.
Sure, yeah, and I haven't gotten into that, but we talk about this here all the time. Okay, I don't buy that we evolved from what they say we did. Okay, and then Lloyd Pye illustrates this very well. The hominoids, right? These hominoid skulls, and they'll line them up, and they show the progression,
right,
from one thing to us. Yeah. And there's just, and they say, well, there's a missing link in there, but there would have to be 40 or 50 links to get from what they're telling us to where we are.
I think they're starting to realize that now.
If you look at these bone structures of these hominoids and the images that we're getting of these things in the woods, that's them. That's not us. We just show up out of nowhere about 250,000 years ago, if you believe carbon dating and the way they do that, and lineage, and the lineage of mitochondrial DNA of everyone on the planet tracing back to one place, South Africa. We're all African, every one of us, according to science. Now, I know it's kind of, I want to say it's passe to believe some of the science and then not believe others of it, but it's all right to pick and choose what we want to believe.
The mainstream science says basically the likelihood of a Sasquatch existing is like 0.000001. So
it's like the same odds as the Lions winning Super Bowl, but
maybe a little bit better. I don't know.
The likelihood of Sasquatch existing is 1 to 1. I am comfortable saying that right now because I have seen it.
Man. I'm with you.
They are out there. These creatures are out there. I've seen one. I know exactly what I was looking at, and I got a glimpse of another one another time. I'm 99.9% sure I saw another one just for a few seconds down in Florida. And everything we've heard, everything we've seen, the images that we get to see that come from all over, not just from South Florida, but the white Bigfoot from Pennsylvania, where he shines the light on, and that thing, Thinker Thunker did a great breakdown of that.
I watched that.
That's a Sasquatch, man. That's a Sasquatch.
That's insane.
That's all there is to it. You can believe that or not.
I sent you another video of a white Bigfoot actually that I captured from somebody else's like YouTube that they didn't see when they were out in the forest. And I don't know if you got it or not, but I definitely sent it to you.
I'll have to go through my emails and look. We got to get you back, Bob. It's as simple as that. And what we'll do is you and I will get together and we'll go through your stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll put together a program. I didn't have a whole lot of time to do that this time, and I apologize.
No, it's no worries.
I've got several emails, but let's do this. Let's plan on next Friday.
Next Friday?
You want to do that?
Great. Yeah.
Let's do that now. We'll plan next Friday. You guys show up here. We'll actually have a program for you. We'll have a lot more of Bob's stuff to show. We have come to the end of our hour, and
no lines talk.
Yeah. we'll try to stay away from the sports stuff.
It's all right, man. I don't
really appreciate you coming on here again. Bob's channel is Northman's Keep. And I'm going to go look. I actually just subscribed to it while you saw my head down. That's what I was doing, was subscribing to his channel.
I appreciate it.
You'll see his videos up there because that was Turtle Man in that video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's him.
That's him. That's the man.
That's a
crazy guy.
man right there.
Yeah. Very entertaining guy. I got to give it to him. He is definitely that. That's somebody they put on TV and they did the right thing putting that guy out there because he is definitely entertaining. But we appreciate you coming on. We'll get together. Brad, great show as always.
Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too. Don't forget, Sunday Encounters is going to be here, 5:00 p.m. Central, working on a couple of guests. Should have someone here. If not, we'll have plenty of stories to go through. So hopefully we'll see you guys then here Sunday, 5:00 p.m. Central for Sunday Encounters. Thanks again, Bob, for showing up. Brad and Bailey. We didn't get to see Bailey this time.
He's sleeping.
Well, good for him.
Poor little fella. Once he got his name in lights, he was like, that's all he wanted.
We've seen him. Everybody
I
saw
know.
me. Okay, I got my name in lights. But hey, everybody have a good night. Have a good weekend if we don't see you then. And
Be safe.